controversies, suspensions, and injuries. In the past few years, Grizzlies guard Ja Morant has gone from being one of the biggest names in the NBA to radio silence. And unfortunately, it appears it's about to get worse. Join me as I walk you through how and why Ja Morant's NBA career is over. Season-ending injury.
Going to bring the wheelchair out for Morant. Already down Jaren Jackson, who's been out with a knee injury. Morant, obviously the face of this organization.
We wouldn't be wrong to admit that no NBA player has had a more terrible year than Ja Morant. In fact, the last 2 years have been one of trouble and tribulations, all of which weren't his fault, but all of which affect his future in the NBA. The Memphis Grizzlies guard missed the first 25 games of the season due to a suspension. And while his return was widely anticipated, he lived up to all expectations in his first game back. Ja Morant ended his first game of the 2023-2024 season with a game-winning buzzer beater. He ended the game with 34 points, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists, completely ending the Grizzlies' 5-game losing streak on his first night back. For many, it was the start of something great. For Ja, he kept her seat and was ready to show everyone who doubted him when he was suspended. It couldn't be more perfect. A star with everything to prove and a team that was tied for the second worst record in the Western Conference with the Portland Trail Blazers. Memphis fans were excited for what was to come. The Grizzlies went undefeated in the first 4 games, their longest streak of consecutive wins all season. In the 9 games he played, the Grizzlies went 6-3, with the point guard averaging 25.1 points, 8.1 assists, and 5.6 rebounds. But unfortunately, that has been the only 9 games the 2020 Rookie of the Year has played this season. He injured his right shoulder during practice and, after increased soreness and instability, got an MRI which revealed an underlying labral tear. He has so far undergone surgery on his right shoulder, which has sidelined him for the remainder of the season. In any case, the unfortunate reality of an injury derailing his comeback performance just as the Grizzlies were gaining momentum and many expected them to make the playoffs has taken a toll on not only Grizzlies fans, but also Ja Morant. Obviously, he is expected to make a full recovery ahead of the 2024-2025 season, but it appears the timing and severity of the injury have taken a toll on the guard, with many doubting if he would ever return the same. Recovery struggles. Getting hurt right after working so hard to get back on the court and prove every doubter wrong can take a toll on anyone, and Ja Morant is no exception. Just after the Grizzlies revealed that he was injured and sidelined for the remainder of the season, the guard took to Instagram to leave a post claiming that he is going through some difficult times. What you went through has a purpose, so does your life. Focus on your life's purpose and you will get through this trying time, Ja Morant posted. He sure seems positive with the post, but it is important to know that Morant has previously revealed that he has a horrible habit of not dealing with his feelings and that it tormented him throughout the 2020 experience of being confined in the Orlando bubble to finish the season. Sadly, this is his 4th year in the NBA, and it is undoubtedly the most difficult period of his career. In a 2021 interview with Taylor Rooks, he discussed his mental health difficulties and how he doesn't inform anyone like he is doing now. You don't realize you're drowning when you're trying to be everyone else's anchor.
I don't know. I just felt like the bubble just wasn't me. Like, obviously, like I'm a homebody. Like, I like being home, but, just being stuck in there and not being able to do nothing was, kind of tough. Like, I was just overthinking a lot. Like, I was, getting down. Like, but I don't tell nobody, none of that stuff. Like, anytime somebody asks me, like, are you okay? I always say, I'm good, even if I'm not. Like, I'm just kind of used to, getting through stuff on my own, so.
Well, he is going through one of his most trying times, and perhaps all of his efforts to prove that he is okay are nothing more than an act. I mean, with the number of former NBA stars coming out to admit that they battled with their mental health when they played, it is reasonable to assume Ja is also struggling, even if he refuses to admit it. He has gone months without playing and is about to go another few months without playing the game that he describes as therapy throughout his life. This can definitely take a toll on him. In the past, Ja Morant has been punished for his behavior, but this injury setback at the height of his NBA career had nothing to do with his behavior, making things even more difficult for him. I mean, What better proof that Ja Morant is going through a tough patch after his recent injury than his parting ways with his longtime agent, Jim Tanner. Jim Tanner of Tandem Sports Plus Entertainment has represented Ja Morant since the 2019 NBA draft, where he was drafted number 2 overall by the Memphis Grizzlies. He also accompanied him when he signed his first big contract, a 4-year, $197 million contract back in the summer of 2022. Former NBA star Gilbert Arenas, however, believes it is a change in the right direction.
Ja Morant has fired his longtime agent, Jim Tanner. What does this move tell you, Gil? What does this move tell you?
I think he's cleaning house. He's surrounding himself with, I can't say nothing about his agent, smarter people who can take him to that next step. The fact that he's stayed out of the limelight, he's getting healthy, right? For the most part, his troubles was his cell phone. And, the fact that he's laid low.
Whatever the case, it is hard to know how this decision can affect Ja Morant's future as he keeps making some tremendous changes. Nonetheless, while he could be gearing up for his return, it is unclear how important the star guard is to the Memphis Grizzlies' long-term ambitions. Memphis Grizzlies without their star guard. No one has felt Ja's absence in the last 2 seasons more than the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies missing the playoffs this season was definitely not on their scorecards. Unfortunately, without their star guard, they will miss the playoffs for the first time since 2020. They are currently 13th in the Western Conference with a 21-48 record in games Ja didn't play this season. You have to understand that this is the first of Ja Morant's 5-year, $197 million contract, and even though he lost about $7.6 million of that because of the 25-game suspension, he's still earning about $34 million this season. In retrospect, it is hard to tell if this was a good gamble by the Grizzlies. The team made a lot of gambles to build a competitive team for this season. Having already lost center Steve Adams, the Memphis Grizzlies traded Tyus Jones and 2 first-round draft picks to land 30-year-old Marcus Smart from Boston in the offseason. A bold move, if you ask any NBA fan. Anyway, after this season, Smart has 2 years and $41.8 million remaining on his contract, and any dreams for the Grizzlies to be a title contender appear to be crushed. You have to understand that the front office plan was for Smart to be a lockdown defender on the perimeter and help maximize Ja's offensive role. But unfortunately, Ja and Smart only played 6 games together to know if this expensive gamble was worth it in the long run. In any case, Ja's suspension and injury inevitably threw a lot of plans involving him out the window, which is proving costly, and the Grizzlies may now be seeking to go beyond relying on their unavailable superstar guard or make a very expensive roster restructuring. Nonetheless, the Memphis Grizzlies have a lot of work to do this offseason, and the same can be said about Ja Morant as he tries to make his return. Mental health aside, he has a long way to go to repair his image in the media and in the NBA. Can he repair his image in time? Or could it end his NBA career prematurely? Superstar career in shambles. Ja Morant being a superstar is undisputable. However, talent can only take you so far in the NBA. So far, he seems to be taking the path of famous talents like Michael Beasley, Derek Coleman, and Javaris Crittenton, all of which didn't end well. It's worth noting that the young guard was raised by both of his parents in the suburban small town of Dalzell, South Carolina. His father, T. Morant, even put his own basketball dreams on hold in Europe to stay home and raise his son alongside his mother, Jamie. Yet, despite the luxury of having both parents raise him in the suburbs, he almost lost everything he has worked for because he wanted to flash a gun on Instagram. He is on a 5-year, $193 million contract extension, has a Nike signature shoe, and just last season had his highest ever ranking in NBA jersey sales, reaching 6th in the first half before sliding to 8th in the second half because of the gun incident. Ja would always need the NBA, not the other way around, and if he keeps pulling up antics like flashing guns or threatening opponents with guns, he won't be in the league for long. He is only lucky to be sanitized to PR-approved perfection because he is a star. If he were a rank-and-file role player, he would have been kicked out of the league. But since he is still in the NBA, that comes with a price too. For what it's worth, Ja Morant is on a clock to repair his damaged reputation. And not just that, he has little grace to pull off such a stunt again because then the NBA will have to come hard on him and finally end his NBA career. Nonetheless, some NBA fans have expressed their opinions on Ja's situation, and one user commented, "NBA will stay without Ja Morant, but Ja Morant is nothing without the NBA." Another user commented, "Please allow this young man to experience the consequences that come with his decision. If Ja refuses to listen to wise counsel and chooses to accept whatever consequences he may face, I say let him. Some folks are not cut out to handle the insane amounts of money and fame at his age and level of maturity. If you enjoyed this video, the next video on your screen is worth your time.